I'm Jen.
I'm Karen.
This is our van that we're living and traveling in. It's a Ram Promaster 2500. And it's from 2019 and we actually built it out ourselves. So we finished that last summer and we've been kind of living on and off in it since, working a little bit at home and then traveling out. And now we've made it out to BC all the way from Ontario. We also travel with our 2 cats.
Yes.
So first off, this is our newest addition because we didn't initially have the kittens when we were traveling. So this is actually our litter box. I don't know, it's a litter box, so a little dirty in there. But yeah, so we built this so it would contain everything, and it also isn't bolted to the ground. So we can take it out if we want to clean. We can also move it in deeper in the van if we want to have access to more of this walkway. So we decided to put our sink by the sliding door so that it can swivel this way, and so we pretty much just wrap a tarp here and then we can pull out and rinse off if we need to. And it's also easy access for our heavy water jugs. And we have 3 6-gallon water jugs for fresh water and then 1 6-gallon for the gray water, which we like a lot because each individual jug isn't too heavy. And then also when we've run out of water, we know for sure it's time to empty the gray water, so there's no mistakes there of potentially overflowing. We knew that we wanted to have some type of wall in between the stove and the front seat so that there wouldn't be as much splash or mess from cooking. So we decided actually to install a closet here as the spot, so that works out well, especially for when we are working. We can hang up a little bit more professional clothing and it fits the perfect amount, and we can store extra cat litter and stuff at the bottom there. And then we have our stove top, which is just the Suburban 2 burner top, so it runs on propane. And the cupboards up top hold all of our food items. They're a little falling over right now because we just finished parking. We do try to live as eco-friendly as we possibly can, so most of the containers that hold our food we're trying to reuse multiple times before they get thrown out. So whenever we get a takeout container, we try to use that multiple times. So a lot of this is more bulk items and then things in glass bottles that it's harder to find in bulk, like balsamic vinegar and such. We wanted to utilize as much space as we could, but also make sure that for our seats, we would have room for our head. So it actually worked out really well to have the slightly shorter cupboards right here. We made sure we had a nice big area here, which is why we only went with the 2 top burner. Yeah, that's where our propane is, so it's really easy access. So we can go to the stove top, and also our heater is just on the other side of it. So this is our fridge, and we have the Dometic, I think it's CFX 355IM. It's the ice maker one. We've never actually made the ice, but when we were building the van, it was kind of at the beginning of everything locking down for the pandemic, and things were selling out fast. So we wanted to make sure we got the size that we wanted, but also many of the websites, we'd look one day and the next day things would be sold out. So we did go with the ice maker, even though it was a little bit more expensive. But yeah, and it holds really enough food for the 2 of us. It's mostly vegetables in there, but it holds a lot. We wanted 2 seats on either side so that we'd be able to eat, because we built our dinner table to slide out from underneath the bed. So this is where our toilet is, and we have the airhead toilet. So that one worked out really nice for the space and the dimensions that we wanted for the seat. We really like it. We try to utilize as many public bathrooms that we can, but it's really nice for in a pinch to be able to go in the van when you need to. And then the cushions we sewed, and we made those out of my old mattress topper from university. And on the other side, we have a top area, which is pretty packed right now because it has all of the cat supplies and their toys all tucked away right now, so the van looks clean. And then under it in the back, we have our heater, which is the HS 2000 Propex. Yep. So that runs on the propane as well, with the heat coming out on either side. And since that's on the lower level, we had a little strip in the front that was kind of empty space, so we built another little cupboard there that we're able to put extra food items and canned food for the cats. And then all along this side is clothing. So on these 2 are more like undergarments, bathing suits and stuff like that, but to organize them, I used old cotton t-shirts that I sewed into bags So pretty much we know what color each bag is that holds, which one holds socks, which one holds bathing suits, and we can pull that out.
So ours is just a fixed bed, so we literally just have a 2x4 here, one in the middle, and then one in the back, and they're attached to bars kind of on either side. And then we have, I just took a thing of plywood and cut a whole bunch of like slats out of it and just slatted it across. We didn't want to like be making our bed every day, and like I was like, no thank you, I don't want the extra work. So I love this, and I love having that space underneath, which is key.
Behind our walls, it's all spray foamed, which we got done professionally. That's the one thing that we got done because we did not trust ourselves to not mess that up. But for little other areas, we got wool, and we had extra wool. So I made these little covers. So I have the wool in the middle, and then I sewed little magnets into it, and then we glued magnetic strips to the fans so that we're able to stick it up so we don't lose as much heat that way.
On top we have 2 solar panels. They're 160 watt, and they're in parallel, and then they go to so it goes to a PWM controller because our electrical guy said an MPPT for our system would be like way overkill. We didn't need it. So our batteries, they're 2 6-volt AGM 275 amp hour batteries. So we worked with Informed Energy Solutions just because we wanted to make sure our electrical, that's I think the scariest part of a van build. You want to make sure it's all good. So he looked over our diagrams, he'd tell us if everything was good. He got us all the solar panels, the batteries, the inverter charger, which we have a 2000 watt inverter charger. Also to charge our batteries, we have a 40 amp DC charger.
So since we are traveling with 2 cats now, we wanted to make sure that we were taking extra precautions so that they were safe. So they have little GPS collars for in case they accidentally get out, because unlike a dog, they won't really come back when called. And then we also have a little security camera up here so that if we're outside of the van for a while, we can check up on them. And then we also got a little temperature alarm, so we set that to more extreme than what the range limit is for a cat, so that we were extra sure that we would get the alarm on our phone and we would have time to come back.
It looks unorganized, but to us, we know
it's
where
organized.
is.
So we have the folding lawn chairs, our paddle boards, a sleeping bag, which we use to entice friends to come out and visit us. And we tell them, we already have a sleeping bag and an air mattress and a tent. Like, all you have to do is show up. So we live in a van, mostly because of me pushing for it. When I first brought up the idea to Karen, her response was, no, I can't live in something that's small. And then I actually showed her some videos from different media, and she came around to the idea.
I did get really hooked, and I was like, I actually want to like build my own, and like, yeah, I do want to do this. I saw how other people did it, and I was like, okay, that seems like, yeah, that makes sense. You can do that.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason I was interested in it is because I think I've always veered towards a non-traditional path in life. So I do travel quite a bit. So when I first started hearing about that people were traveling in vans and it weren't just the huge RVs, and that they were able to build out their own space, make it how they wanted to, and actually like call it their house. And also once I learned about parking for free, that changed a lot of things, and that really resonated with me as something that I would want to do. And yeah, it just provides a lot of freedom, which is something that I personally really crave in life. I feel like whenever I feel trapped in a situation, that's usually when my mental health starts to deteriorate, and I have struggled with some mental health stuff in the past.
So the biggest benefit, I think, is you don't have to pay for accommodation. You can find like spots for free. You literally, your house is your home on wheels. You can drive anywhere, and you can like cook, and you can get changed. You can like literally do anything at like the most beautiful spots of the world that you like wouldn't, you maybe have to like hike somewhere but then go back to a hotel. Like, this is, you're already home. Like, it's, yeah, I love it. I find a challenge for being in the van, like, I don't think a lot of other people like struggle with it, but finding like water to fill up, like where to fill up. I know we usually hit up like parks and stuff, but when we're not hitting up a park, I don't know where people are filling up. So I know there's apps for it, but I still, I struggle with that a bit.
Also, I guess like things just take a lot longer when you're in a little space. Like when we were getting ready this morning, everything takes longer than what you expect. Even the water, like dumping out the gray water filling up. We're like, oh, that'll be really quick. And then all of a sudden it's a half hour later. It's not going so fast. But I think one of the biggest challenges would be that we're 2 females traveling in the car. So I personally, I don't think I struggle as much as maybe some other females do with feeling safe. We heard other people say it took them maybe like a week of sleeping in the car before they started to feel comfortable. My first night I was pretty much passed out. But it's definitely just like making sure that I'm thinking ahead, which I think I've had practice with when backpacking and such. So making sure that we're thinking ahead, planning out where we're going to park at night in advance, and having a couple backups, letting people that we know where we're going to be, making sure we're parking in a way that it's easy access getting out. And most people, like, we've only run across really friendly people, but, you know, it's just that one horror story you hear kind of taints everything that you want to be cautious about all of that. So, yeah, making sure that we have safety precautions in place, and depending on who the person you're talking to is, not really letting them know that it's just 2 females living alone in this vehicle.
Yeah. What is it like living in a van with 2 cats?
Oh my gosh, I love it, but it can get really
Yeah, I absolutely love it. They definitely bring a light to everything.
Yeah.
We definitely plan our days more around them. When we were first traveling in the van, we could just up and do whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. Now we're making sure that they have time that we're going outside, taking them for hikes. Now that we're in the temperate rainforest, if it's a really rainy day, trying to find a building that allows cats to come in, like a pet store, so that they can walk around, interact with people. They're not just stuck in here. But yeah, definitely the stink is a big one with the litter box, so making sure we're right on top of that.
Yeah, and the mess, they also get everything a lot dirtier faster than if we didn't have cats, but it's like so worth it in the end.
Yeah.
They're the best thing.
Also a lot of then extra purchases that we made that we didn't initially think we would. Like, we bought a temperature alarm and the security camera, had to build the box for the cat litter. We also bought seat covers for the 2 front seats, which that is, I think, the best purchase that we've made yet for this car. They haven't been in here that long, and they're already ripped up. They think that that's their jungle gym, even though they use their scratching posts, which are right behind us. They shred those to bits, but just playing, because they use everything in here as kind of an obstacle, jumping from one thing to another. So when they're playing, they're definitely scratching up our countertops and everything. But I really love them. Animals are pretty much like my biggest passion. Yeah. So having them be in here means the world to me.
And going on hikes with them too is like so fun too.
We clicker train them to go to their backpack and to come like that. So they are a little bit trained, but they're still cats. They come. You can tell them to come, and they will listen sometimes, but only really when they want to.
Yeah. The cost is a lot cheaper if you do it yourself. We looked at prices of like actual full out built vans, and it's crazy. And I was so excited for the challenge of like actually making it. I think you were too. It was daunting, but like also exciting. I loved like us planning everything and like what we wanted, and that's also the thing, is to like customize it to exactly like what you need personally and what you want. And I can't think of anything that we would really change.
The van ended up costing us more than we initially thought we were going to spend, because we went for a newer van. So the van was only a year old when we had bought it. It had previously been used for kind of a U-Haul. So the kilometers were very, very low. It was in nearly perfect condition. A lot of the other ones we were looking for had rust. We're not car people. So thinking about having to deal with things like that was extra daunting. Like, I was like, I have absolutely no idea how you would deal with like rust or stuff like that. So we ended up spending, I think it was like $30,000 for the van. And so we had a little bit of money saved up, and I was like, if we spend more now and we don't like it, we can sell it for more, because the kilometers are very low. It's pretty much like a new car. And if we do love it, there's a chance we'll have it for longer. So in our mind, that price ended up working out. And then the actual build itself, I think, was around $15,000.
Yeah, I think so. We also started it when the wood prices got really high. Because I was looking online, like, we spent this much on wood, and I was like, how? I was just like double the cost. So that definitely increased the cost. But yeah, I think around like 15. We were aiming, I think, for 10, but obviously everything adds up slightly more.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned through the build, there's like definitely a lot of ups and downs for it, but like I learned that I can do, like, if you just set your mind to it, like I can do it. I can like work through it. It definitely helps to have like people there and like bouncing off each other, but just like the fact that you can just like look at this and be like, I built this. And then like also from me doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this kind of what I want to do with my life? Is actually like work more with my hands than like I don't want to be like on a laptop or be in an office. I think I kind of learned that this is something that I actually really enjoy and that like I would want to do that in the future maybe. So that's kind of what I'm looking into, because right now I'm just doing like a more the same job every single day, whereas I think I'm looking to do something else, and I think I want to work with my hands. So that's what I learned, is that I just want to like do a different job.
I guess kind of like self-confidence and being able to realize that perhaps like the life choices I make aren't as traditional and not what everyone else around me is making, but that they definitely work for me. Like as soon as we started driving in the van, like I literally used to like scream and pump my hands and be like, I love this van. So yeah, just knowing that I can like feel it in my soul that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to listen to myself more and not listen to everyone else about following the traditional path about getting a house, staying in the house, having a job, and staying in one location forever.
Yeah, because that is hard. That's always what society kind of pushes, and it's nice to have like a different, like you don't have to follow that path. Mm-hmm. You can make your own and do literally you can live however you want to live. Definitely research if it's like something that you would actually like want to do, and if you know that you would be like comfortable with it. But then if you know that you want to do it, just do it. Like research, but know when to stop and just like actually like start like building.
Yeah, and I'd say don't feel nervous about reaching out to people online. Sure. They're extremely helpful, like the forums, even like social media people that you may follow, like reach out. If they don't answer, no big deal. But if they do answer, they will have a lot of helpful information. That's how we were able to find insurance for ourselves, because we thought we had found insurance. Then when it came down to actually transferring the van over into a camper and we wanted to get camper van insurance, they said no. And we had, receipts and like recordings of conversations that they had promised that it would work out, and then it ended up not. So knowing that we had already previously reached out to some people asking like, were you able to find insurance, anything like that, it helped, because a lot of times the insurance would ask, well, do you know anyone who has this type of insurance? And to then be able to say, yes, like I do know someone who has it. So that definitely was something. And then I think another piece of advice is just realize that it's not all glitz and glam. Sure. I think a lot of times online, it definitely looks like that. And it's kind of the highlight reel, but that your bed is going to look messy like this a lot of the time. You're coming in wet, like you're going to have wet things hanging out. You're moving our cupboards, we open up, stuff is flying out. So there's definitely the little things that you have to get used to, but I think it helps teach you to be more go with the flow with things, which I know it's something that we've had to together. Yeah. We're more go in the flow with different areas, so then together helping each other out, being like, oh, this actually isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, I think it's hard to like pinpoint who would be someone who could live this life out, because the lifestyle is so flexible. Mm-hmm. It could suit like a wide range of people, but I think someone who like is confident enough to take that first step to choose something a little bit more non-traditional, and that perhaps isn't so dedicated to having the exact same routine every single day, unless you were able to park in one specific spot every single night, because things will change at the last minute all the time when you're in the van if you actually are traveling around a lot, unless you do park in one spot, in which case you can build up a little bit more of a routine. So I guess my personal philosophy is big things that are really important to me are like seeking out like happiness and fun, especially for someone who like I do sometimes deal with mental health issues, is making sure that I'm not letting myself get stuck in those ruts, so that if I can feel myself sort of like slipping into a like depressive like episode, I don't know if episode would be the right word to describe it, but and one of those So definitely like seeking out things that bring enjoyment to me in life, but at the same time, like my big passions are the environment and animals and nature and sustainability. So being able to have a life that you enjoy while still creating a life that creates the least amount of negative impact on the world as you can. So travel in itself is not very environmentally friendly, but we do try to counteract that by having the solar panels. We actually have composting worms that soon will be living in the van with us. They're very small babies, so my parents are very kindly keeping them right now and feeding them so that they can grow, because right now they eat like 1 banana peel in 2 weeks. Like there's not a lot. But soon hopefully we can have that, because we do struggle to find compost on the road. We use composting cat litter. When we're in the van, we are trying to shop at smaller shops to get our groceries from. We eat mostly like either bulk foods or like fresh vegetables and fruits. So just trying to find that balance between a life that you're enjoying and that you're like being able to partake in your desires, but also not creating a lot of waste and harm to the earth.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to add about your van life experience that we haven't covered?
One thing I would add is double check and make sure you've locked your doors, because we recently had a bear come to the back door while we were sleeping, and that's right beside where we sleep, obviously. And he was like pounding, shaking the whole van. Everything that we like have is contained within the van, so it's not like we had food left out, but guess through the seams of the doors he could smell everything. And he came in, and the next day we checked, and his paw prints were right by where the door handle is. And I heard stories of bears being able to break into cars, so make sure you locked your doors before you go to bed, because that was we're like, oh shoot, did we lock the doors last night? Making sure for that.
That's funny. So we're on Instagram at A Planet to Roam. So that's all. Well, obviously one more thing. It's Instagram.
One word, A Planet to Roam, and that's us and the cats and the bands that we post photos of.
We have a lot of photos of cats now. So if you like cats, check it out.
If you would like to be featured on different media, there's a form you can fill out to be on the podcast or to have your van toured. And if you're interested in watching more alternative dwelling tours like this, we upload every single Sunday. So hit subscribe, and new van life and chill podcasts every Thursday. Thanks everyone for watching.